Morning YouTube. We're going to run over a complete disassembly of the Glock weapon system. As you can see, this weapon is empty. First step in working on any weapon system is you want to go ahead and make sure it's empty. For a Glock, all you need to disassemble of it is one 3/32 punch. This is an actual Glock armor's tool. But that's all you need. You can take the entire weapon system apart with that. So let's get into it. First thing you got to do is let's slide forward, press trigger to the rear. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to slide the slide back roughly 1/4 inch. You're going to pull down on the lever directly above the trigger guard and slide the slide off of the gun. Most people can do that pretty quick and easily. So for the video, the first thing we're going to work on is the frame. Set the slide off to the side. Now, because of my magazine release being extended, it's kind of a pain to take out. How you're going to actually take it out is down in the mag well. See if I can find the angle. Down in the mag well, you'll see a spring. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this in the video. The spring is located right in here. All you do to take that spring out is push it to the side, pop it out of, there's a little groove inside there, and you can take your magazine release out. With the Glock, how you want to work this is the pins need to go out on one specific model a certain way, and to make sure you get it right the same way every time, you're going to do all the guns the same way every time. So you're going to press the pins out from the back of the gun left to right. They're going to go in right to left. So we're going to press ours out left to right. This back strap pin first, then the top pin, then the bottom pin. A lot of times to get the bottom pin out, you'll have to shake the slide stop lever back and forth this way and that way until you get, there's a little set groove in there that holds everything together. You can see the grooves right here. When it all goes back together, your slide stop lever will rest in that groove. So pull your slide stop lever out, lock and block out your entire trigger assembly. Ultimately, other than your slide latch, which can be very easily taken out by pressing down on this spring. Hold that spring down, you'll slide this out to the left or the right. It's important to note while doing that, there's a groove on the back of your slide stop lever, or no, I'm sorry, in your slide lock lever. It's important in that groove. Get it to fight out of here. This is an oversized one. Makes it a little tricky to get out. Alright, I can't get it out right now. There's a groove that faces back to the back of the gun. If you do not put that groove facing to the rear of the gun, your slide will still come off. That's bad. So it's important. Come on, get out of there. There it comes. It's important that this groove, and you can see mine, that shadow of it, faces to the rear of the weapon. I'm going to go ahead and slide that back in because I tend to lose that. This spring can be easily popped out if needed be, if you've broken it some way or need to replace it for whatever reason. But like I said, it's important that that specific groove goes to the facing to the back of the weapon system while you're reassembling it. Take your trigger bar apart is easy. You're going to twist to the right and pop this whole thing up. Now, another thing that's important to note, if you can see the spring from the trigger connector side of the housing, your spring should be faced in an S, meaning the top, the open part should go towards the trigger, and the back it should go towards the back of the gun at the bottom of the trigger housing. And the reason for that is when you put it back together, if you go the other way, it's very possible that it can come apart. I've never actually seen it. I've seen several guns put together with the spring put in backwards, but I've never seen one actually come apart. So if you need to get this part, you just obviously pull it off. To disassemble the slide, first thing we need to do, remove your buffer spring and take out your barrel. Most people go down that far. Now, if you're going to take the firing pin mechanism out, try and get some. If you see under your firing pin here, you'll see a black piece of plastic right at the tip of my thing. I've seen people pry this. Mine's got scars on it from being pried until I went to Glock Armor School and found out how easy it is to actually take that off. What you're going to do is take your armor tool, go up underneath your firing pin and just push down on that black channel. Now when you do this, you're going to slide this cover plate off. You need to, it's all under spring pressure, so you need to run your finger from the top of the sights down to the back of the barrel. This will allow you to capture all of those things and keep and release that spring pressure without springs going flying. So we're going to press down on that, slide that off, catch all that spring pressured stuff. So we're going to remove the firing pin. Get a lot of grime and dirt on the tip of the point of the firing pin right there. It's good, real good place to clean. If you need to take the spring cups off, to say you want to replace the firing pin spring with a lighter one or heavier one or whatever you want to do, if you use the back of the slide and turn it 90 degrees, it'll catch the firing pin bar. Then all you have to do is pull down on this spring and it'll release your spring cups. Now my spring cups are actually designed to be underwater. I don't know if you can see, there are grooves down the side. Regular spring cups will be completely round. You just pull down on that and these are cut. Just take that one off, leaves the spring loose. Now you slide that back piece of plastic out and you can replace the entire firing pin if you need to. The next thing we're going to take out is the spring-loaded bearing and your extractor pin. The drop safety, which is here, the easiest way to get that out is put it flat down on the table. Take your armor tool, pull back on your ejector or extractor, and this pin will drop forward. Again, a lot of grime will build up on your drop safety, can cause friction, make it not operate properly. Then we pull our extractor out, and that is a completely disassembled Glock for all intents and purposes. When you start to put it back together, kind of go in reverse order. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put our extractor in there, we're going to take our drop safety and we're going to push it in, and then we're going to push the extractor until it captures it. You'll feel it capture it. Then we're going to take our extractor rod and our spring-loaded bearing, put it back in. Now we need to put our firing pin spring back together with our spring cups, which this can be a pain in the butt. Careful when you get one in there. I've seen a lot of people want to just let it go and while they try to acquire the other one. Don't let all that spring pressure up on there. You can break that spring cup. Go ahead and put our firing pin back in. Slide our cover plate in. Take your armor tool. First you'll push the black sleeve in that's on your firing pin, and then you're going to go ahead and push the spring-loaded bearing in on the spring-loaded bearing until you can get that whole piece to slide back up there. Put our trigger bar and our trigger bar connector back together, again ensuring that it faces like an S. Go ahead and seat that back down into the frame. Put your locking block back in. Like I said, it's important that your pins go in right to left. It's only important for one model, and I'm not even going to tell you what model that is. That way you do it for all of them. because I don't have to bother because I don't have that model. On 3-pin models, you go ahead and put your top pin in first. This is a little bit of value added. Actually, Glock says does not matter. However, it gives this spring a little bit more pressure for your slide stop. Excuse me. Go ahead and slide that in. Slide your pin in, and you'll shake your slide stop lever up and down, back and forth till you feel it lock into that groove. We'll go ahead and put our barrel back in, and a recoil spring. It's kind of important at the recoil spring. There's 2 grooves on your barrel lug. There's 2 grooves on your barrel lug. Get that turned so you can see it. One groove being here, one groove being here. It's important you get your recoil spring the whole way up to the 2nd groove. You can shear off the base of this plastic, which I've seen a couple of times. Get your sliders lined up. Do a function check. We're good to go. How you technically function check the Glock: let's slide forward, pull the trigger, hold the trigger to the rear. It should have fired. Cycle the weapon system, let it out till you hear a metallic click. Pull it back again, it should fire again. That is a function check, and that is how you disassemble a Glock.